Building Better Lives with Tony Robbins.
Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, to anyone listening to my voice today, this is for you. This is for all of you who have fought, who are still fighting, and who wake up each day carrying a weight that no one else seems to notice. This is for the ones who put on a brave face, even when their hearts are breaking. This is for those who suffer in silence, who face their demons alone, and who push forward despite the exhaustion in their souls. We live in a world that often celebrates success, happiness, and strength. We see smiling faces on social media, hear stories of achievements, and witness people seemingly thriving in their lives. But what we don't see are the silent battles of struggles fought in the darkness of one's own mind, the tears shed behind closed doors, and the pain that lingers beneath forced smiles. We don't always see the anxiety that keeps someone up at night, the grief that never fully fades, the financial worries that weigh on a person's spirit, or the feelings of unworthiness that haunt so many. Many of you here today know this struggle all too well. You have faced days when getting out of bed felt like a monumental task. You have carried burdens that felt too heavy to bear, and yet you carried them anyway. You have questioned your worth, your purpose, and whether anyone would truly understand what you're going through. To those who feel alone in their pain, let me tell you this: you are not alone. Even in your loneliest moments, you are not forgotten. Even in your darkest nights, you are not invisible. And even in your silent battles, your struggles matter. Pain does not always come with visible scars. Some of the deepest wounds are the ones no one can see, the ones that reside in our hearts and minds. Just because others do not see your suffering does not mean it is not real. Too often, people dismiss the struggles they cannot comprehend. They say, "You look fine," as if pain must always manifest physically. They say, "You have nothing to be sad about," as if struggles are only valid if they meet a certain standard. But the truth is, pain is pain. It does not have to be justified to be real. Some of you may be battling mental health struggles, depression, anxiety, PTSD, or other silent illnesses that make daily life a challenge. You may be carrying the weight of childhood trauma, heartbreak, or the scars of betrayal. You may be navigating a loss of a loved one, a relationship, a job, or even a sense of self. You may be dealing with financial stress, family issues, or the feeling that no matter how hard you try, you are never enough. And in these moments when you feel the most alone, when you wonder if anyone understands, I want you to remember this: you are stronger than you think. The very fact that you are still here, still fighting, is a testament to your resilience. The world may not always acknowledge your battles, but that does not mean they are insignificant. There is a saying that goes, "Be kind, for everyone you meet is fighting a battle you know nothing about." How true those words are. We never truly know what someone is carrying. The colleague who seems perfectly composed may be drowning in debt. The friend who always makes others laugh may cry themselves to sleep. The family member who never talks about their struggles may be enduring an unbearable loss. The stranger you pass on the street may be facing demons you cannot imagine. We must recognize that struggle is a universal human experience. No one goes through life without pain, hardship, or challenges. And yet so many suffer in silence, afraid to speak up, afraid of judgment, afraid of appearing weak. But let me tell you this: there is no weakness in struggling. There is no weakness in feeling pain and grieving and being overwhelmed. The real strength is in carrying on despite it all. To those who have felt unseen, unheard, or misunderstood, know that your experiences matter. Your pain matters. Your battles, no matter how small or large, are valid. And just because no one has acknowledged them does not mean they are not significant. And let me say this to those who have never known what it's like to fight a battle alone. If you know someone who is struggling, reach out to them. Be the friend who listens without judgment. Be the person who reminds others that they are not alone. Sometimes the smallest acts of kindness, a simple "How are you really feeling?" or "I'm here for you," can mean the world to someone who feels invisible. To everyone here today who has faced or is facing their own silent struggles, I want you to take a deep breath and remind yourself of this. You have survived 100% of your hardest days. You have made it through every sleepless night, every moment of doubt, every time you felt like giving up. You are still here, and that is something to be proud of. This world may not always acknowledge your pain, but I do. And I want you to know that No matter how lonely the battle feels, you are never truly alone. There are people who care, who understand, and who are willing to stand beside you even in the moments when you cannot see them. Ladies and gentlemen, to those listening with weary hearts and tired souls, let us now speak of strength. Not the kind of strength that the world so often glorifies, but the quiet, unshakable strength that comes from facing adversity alone. This is the strength that is not always seen, not always praised, yet it is the strength that defines true warriors. Solitude is often misunderstood. People associate being alone with weakness, sadness, or failure. But solitude is not always an enemy. In fact, it can be a source of immense power. It is in solitude that we confront our true selves. It is in the moments of quiet struggle that we learn who we are, what we stand for, and what we are capable of enduring. When we fight our battles alone, we come face to face with our deepest fears, our greatest doubts, and our hidden pain. But we also discover our resilience, our will to keep moving forward, and our ability to rise above even the darkest of times. Resilience is not about never feeling pain, it is about continuing despite it. It is about standing back up every time life knocks us down. The truth is, those who have faced battles alone develop a strength that cannot be easily broken. They learn to rely on themselves, to trust their instincts, to push through when others might falter. They learn that while support is valuable, their ability to survive does not depend on the presence of others. To those who have spent nights battling their own thoughts, who have faced challenges without a hand to hold, and who have endured hardship in silence, you are not weak. You are warriors. You have fought wars within yourself that no one else can see, and yet you are still here. That is resilience. That is power. There is a misconception that strength is always loud, that it must be bold, aggressive, or obvious. But some of the strongest people are the ones who fight their battles quietly. Strength is found in the mother who gets up every day to provide for her children despite overwhelming exhaustion. It is in the student who continues to push forward despite self-doubt. It is in the person battling depression who chooses to face another day, even when every part of them wants to give up. Strength is in every individual who has ever felt alone, yet refused to surrender to despair. One of the most difficult things about fighting battles alone is the fear that no one understands, that no one sees, that no one cares. But let me tell you something, you see yourself. You know what you have endured. You know the nights you have spent in pain, the days you have forced yourself to keep going, the moments you have fought against the urge to quit. And because of that, you know your own strength. You do not need the world's validation to know your worth. Some of the greatest figures in history were those who spent time in solitude, strengthening their minds, their spirits, and their purpose. They used their solitude to grow, to reflect, to plan their next step forward. Solitude is not a punishment, it is an opportunity. It allows you to sharpen your mind, to develop resilience, and to become the person you were meant to be. Think of the most challenging times you have faced. Remember the pain, the uncertainty, the loneliness. And now look at yourself today. You survived. Maybe it wasn't easy, maybe you carry scars, but you are still standing. And that is proof of your resilience. There is an undeniable beauty in overcoming struggles alone. It teaches you self-reliance. It shows you that even when the world seems against you, you can still find the strength within yourself to keep moving forward. It builds a type of confidence that is not dependent on anyone else's approval. But let me also remind you, resilience does not mean you must always walk alone. Strength does not mean refusing help when it is offered. It means knowing that even if no one else were there, you would still endure. But if someone reaches out, if someone offers a hand, take it. Strength is also knowing when to accept kindness, when to lean on others, and when to let yourself be supported. To those who have battled alone and emerged stronger, know this: your struggles have shaped you, but they do not define you. Your pain has forged you, but it does not control you. You are more than what you have endured. You are the strength that has carried you through, the resilience that has kept you standing, and the warrior that refuses to be broken. Here are moments in life when it feels like no one understands what you are going through. You may feel isolated in your struggles, as if you are the only person facing these challenges. The loneliness that accompanies difficult times can be overwhelming, making you believe that you must carry your burdens alone. But I want to tell you this, you are not truly alone. The illusion of loneliness. Loneliness is a deceptive force. It convinces us that no one else could possibly understand our pain, that no one cares, and that reaching out is futile. The truth, however, is that many people around us have faced or are facing similar struggles. Loneliness often grows not from actual isolation, but from our perception of it. Our world is more connected than ever before, yet many people feel more isolated than ever. The pressure to appear strong, to pretend that everything is okay, prevents us from truly opening up to others. Social media shows only the highlights of people's lives, making us feel as if everyone else has it all figured out while we struggle in silence. But what you see on the surface does not tell the full story. Many people are dealing with their own hidden battles, finding the right people. One of the most powerful things you can do in times of hardship is to seek out those who genuinely care. True support does not always come in the form of large friend groups or constant validation from others. Sometimes it is a single person who listens without judgment, a kind word from a stranger, or a small community that offers comfort and understanding. You may not have found the right people yet, but that does not mean they do not exist. There are those who are willing to support you, whether they are friends, family members, mentors, or even people you have yet to meet. Finding them requires courage, the courage to reach out, to be vulnerable, and to let others in. The importance of asking for help. Many of us are conditioned to believe that asking for help is a sign of weakness. We convince ourselves that we must handle everything on our own. However, true strength lies in recognizing when we need support and having the courage to ask for it. Reaching out can be daunting, but it could also be life-changing. Whether you seek help from a close friend, a therapist, or a support group, talking about your struggles can lighten the burden. You do not have to have all the answers before reaching out sometimes. Simply sharing how you feel can bring a sense of relief and clarity. Help can come in many forms. It may be a heartfelt conversation, a book that offers new perspectives, or an online community where people share their experiences. Do not underestimate the power of seeking guidance and comfort from others. Finding strength in shared experiences. One of the most beautiful aspects of human connection is that we are never truly alone in our experiences. No matter how unique your struggles may seem, there is someone out there who has gone through something similar. Sharing your journey with others who understand can be incredibly healing. It reminds you that your pain is not a solitary burden, but a shared experience that many have faced and overcome. When we hear stories of others who have persevered through similar hardships, it gives us hope that we too can make it through. The power of kindness and compassion. Sometimes the people who support us the most are not the ones we expect. A kind word from a stranger, a thoughtful gesture from a coworker, or an encouraging message from someone you barely know can make a world of difference. Small acts of kindness have the power to remind us that we are not invisible, that we matter, and that there is goodness in the world. Likewise, offering kindness to others can strengthen our own sense of connection. When we extend compassion to those around us, we create bonds that remind us that we are all in this together. By supporting others, we often find the support we need in return. Embracing self-compassion. Even in moments when it feels like no one is there, you have yourself. Self-compassion is a powerful tool that can help you navigate loneliness and hardship. Treat yourself with the same kindness and understanding that you would offer a loved one. Acknowledge your pain, but also remind yourself that you are doing the best you can. Instead of criticizing yourself for struggling, recognize your resilience. Instead of isolating yourself further, seek out ways to nurture your well-being. Engage in activities that bring you peace, whether it is journaling, meditating, creating art, or spending time in nature. Be patient with yourself. Healing takes time, and it is okay to take things one step at a time. The journey forward. No matter how dark the road ahead may seem, remember that you do not have to walk it alone. There are people who care, who want to help, and who understand. There are brighter days ahead, even if you cannot see them yet. You are not alone. You never were. And you never will be. Keep holding on, keep believing, and keep moving forward. The world is a better place because you are in it. Thank you.